welcome to Journey Crafting, where we explore how to build customer journeys and not just membership sites. So today we're going to continue on with the One Funnel Away challenge, and we're going to go to a couple other areas of how do you create amazing customer journeys. So I'm going to go ahead and start my timer for 15 minutes. And let's get this show on the road. Oh, and you might have noticed, so like any great customer journey building, you're always learning from feedback from your customers. So yesterday I got some really great feedback that, you know what, Andrea, waiting 5 minutes is way too long. And so you'll notice that I shortened that down to 1 minute today, and hopefully that journey was better for a lot of folks. We'll talk more about, hey, do you always respond to a data point of one, or you need to get more data in later episodes. But today, it seemed like good enough. Big pothole, let's fix it. So here we are. Welcome. All right, so let's dive into One Funnel Away, and we're going. Okay. So, and I'm gonna, just for those folks who are joining in, if you're here with me live, go ahead and do #live. If you're here on the replay, go #replay. And I got a couple great comments and feedback from yesterday's session. So, keep the questions coming. I love it. I could nerd out about customer journeys all day long. They are just endlessly fascinating to me. So today, let's talk about the One Funnel Away challenge. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And I'll go ahead and put this guy down. All right, so the One Funnel Away challenge. So we talked yesterday, this is Russell's flagship program that the majority of people who really are successful with ClickFunnels and who go on to continue on with ClickFunnels and just be loyal raving fans, they go through the One Funnel Away challenge. Anybody who you ask, it is rare to find somebody who speaks ill of the One Funnel Away challenge. Everybody who I normally talk to, they love it. They had an amazing experience. It just hook, line, and sinkered them into the ClickFunnels world. Everyone loved it. And so I love looking at these kind of journeys because they are so much more than just a membership site. So yesterday we talked about the importance of identifying the intention behind how you're building something for both the intention for your humans and the intention for you and your business. We also talked about world creation. Today we're going to talk about mapping the journey. Okay, so let's say that Russell comes to you and says, hey, come build me a membership site. Well, if I were going to go and build a membership site for Russell, it'd be, again, pretty straightforward. It's 30 days. Every day new content is open. They might even have some map like this that basically tells me the sequence of how the content gets delivered to the customers. So they would maybe give me something like this. So if I was going to go and I'd build a membership site for them, again, this is really clear cut, pretty simple. A lot of clients that I work with don't even have this map in place, right? But still the conversation would be like, okay, tell me the sequence of how things are going to go in order for people to learn what you want them to learn. So you might get something similar to this. And so you would go in and you would craft the membership site. And again, it's pretty simple. So in the case of One Funnel Away, I always have to be a little bit careful because especially in dealing with membership sites, I want to honor the paid wall, right? Behind, like I don't want to give people's content away if you haven't bought the program. So I just will do highlights and try not to give too much away. That's why a lot of times I use the keynote instead of the actual site. But in this case, they, just used sections. So if you're familiar with ClickFunnels membership areas, they just used sections, and every single day and on each week has its own section. So week 1, and they use that great language for word creation, mission 2, right? Week 1, mission 3 or M3. Week 1, mission 4. So it's just organized in a really clean cut, simple, sequential way because that's the way the participant is intended to go through. So super simple, nothing complicated. It's just 30 days organized by the word of week and day. And then you would be able to build that membership site. And again, super simple. Wouldn't be able to charge more than like $1,500 to $2,000 for this one. It's so clear cut and easy. But what if Russell said, hey, Andrea, I want you to build a customer journey for me. Okay, that would be a whole different game. Instead, when he came to me and said, hey, I want you to build a customer journey, and he would give me this, the very first thing I would do is to map out the journey. And it's not just the sequence that you're going through in the One Funnel Away Challenge. It's not just the sequence by which I'm consuming the content, right? Because essentially what that ends up to be is a lot of times I use this term called information vomit, right? Where it's just like, okay, I'm just vomiting all the information I know in a very sequential, logical way onto you, and good luck, right? And we know that those models aren't very successful towards bringing people into your world and helping them grow with you. So in the One Funnel Away Challenge, he says, okay, come with me and build a customer journey. So what would I do? So the first thing I would do I was look at something that I call touch points. So what a touch point is anywhere where that customer comes in contact with my brand, with my service, with the offering that I'm giving them. So in this case, remember how we talked about how membership sites are usually great journeys, include the membership site plus the community plus some kind of nurture element, which usually is an email campaign. So in the case of One Funnel Away Challenge, yes, we have the membership site. We just talked about that. It's well organized. It's in the sequence that I'm going to go through it. But I also was a part of a rich Facebook community. The latest OFA challenge that started on January 11th, you can see there, they have 5.4 thousand people in this Facebook community. They have coaches in there. They have people willing to help. Anytime that I had a question, I would jump into the Facebook community. They have Facebook Lives. There is just this rich, rich community that happens within the Facebook group whenever I'm going along the journey of learning. Now, again, for those of you who are taking the One Funnel Away Challenge now, they pretty much redid their journey model in this latest iteration, and I'm looking forward to actually breaking that down, because some things I think they did a lot better, and some things I look forward to seeing how it goes, because it is not quite in alignment with some of the journey principles. So this is the one I'm talking about right now, is all the ones prior to this. So I would have my membership site, I would get my content, I'd be able to go into my community, I could ask any question I wanted, I felt heard, I felt understood, I felt supported. I could find like minds in there. I ended up finding actually a couple different friends that I would call friends, and we continued on with our journey together. We even found like cohorts and masterminds from that community. So there's this rich community aspect that contributed to this being a journey and not just a membership. The other thing that the One Funnel Away Challenge did so brilliantly is they added a nurture campaign. So from my experience, when you add a daily nurture campaign to any kind of learning experience, the likelihood of somebody going into your membership site on that regular basis increases tenfold. I'm still collecting data to actually get you a really hard number on the difference of if you have a nurture campaign, if you don't. But right now, it seems to be the almost single biggest influence to somebody coming back into your membership area, your content hub, in order to consume and engage with your material and with your program. And in the case of One Funnel Away Challenge, it was right away. So as soon as I purchased, I got this amazing welcome email. It told me how to prep, because I think I was about a week early before it started. So it gave me all this amazing bonus footage. I mean, it brought me right into the journey right away. And it stayed with me every single day, sometimes twice a day, in my inbox, really prepping me and then helping me every step along the way. It reinforced what I was participating in the community, and it reinforced what I was learning in my membership site and hub. So really strong on all three fronts. Every touch point in the membership site, every touch point in the community, every touch point every time I had an email, they all contributed to helping me. So if we go back to this sequencing, right? Yes, I went down this sequence, but every step of the way, I felt supported through the community, and I felt supported through that email nurture campaign. This contributed to a much different emotional experience, aka an actual customer journey that I was on. Instead of just, here's content, go in and consume it, good luck, right? There was this vested interest, or it felt like this vested interest going through the journey of the One Funnel Away Challenge. All right, So, with our 6 minutes you have left, sometimes this is kind of difficult, right? Because I talk to a lot of people and a lot of my clients when we first start engaging. Facebook communities can take a lot of work, and a lot of times, email copy is like, oh my gosh, it takes so long, and just building the membership site, right, can be a little bit overwhelming. So I have these like 3 components that I know contribute to a customer journey, but how do I do it in a way that is in alignment with my business? And so if we were to look at the One Funnel Away Challenge and we were to map it onto, I have a model basically that I have discovered that when I look at all of the different, what I call a learning experience, One Funnel Away is one type of those learning experiences. There's actually only 6 models that exist out there that I have found, especially in our ClickFunnels world. There's only 6 models. And the reason why this is important is that once you know the journey model that you're on, then the architecture of that journey model, you just basically follow a rhythm. So in this case, it is a challenge model. So here are the 6 really quick. So there's 6 different models. In this case, and we'll talk about all 6 of these with different examples throughout the weeks, but in this case, it's called a challenge model. So in a challenge model, you have 2 options. It's either a cohort or a solo. And so in the case of One Funnel Away, it's a cohort. Everybody comes in together. We start at the same date. We end at the same date. The solo model is more of like if I could just come in there and go on my own. And you can imagine what that journey experience would be different. So if I'm doing a cohort model, the community aspect of my journey looks very different than if I was going to do a solo model. How is that? Okay, so if I'm in a cohort, which is what the One Funnel Away Challenge is, meaning I have a group of people, we're all coming in together, we're all starting at the same date, and we're all ending at the same date. We're on the same timeline. So every conversation and every day, we're all doing the same thing. So what I can do in my Facebook community is I can get a pulse because everybody is going along at the same rate. Hey guys, today we're focused on blah, blah, blah. Hey guys, today's mission is blah, 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 right? Or, hey, I just saw like X number of questions about this thing that we're doing today. Here's a quick refresher, right? It brings people together whenever you're doing a cohort model. Now, this very much aligns with the, what I know of the ClickFunnels world and Russell Brunson. It seems like they take models that are called swarming models, meaning they swarm in on something, put a lot of attention, a lot of momentum, get people moving, and then they come out and they swarm on something else. And the One Funnel Away Challenge is no different. So it's a cohort model, concentrated group of people, concentrated amount of time. We swarm on that, we do that, we take people through that 30-day journey, and then we take a little bit of a break, and then we do it again, right? And so this community model in a cohort, when you're doing a cohort learning experience, it looks very different than if I was going to do a solo model. Then how I engage with my, how I engage with my community would be very different. So if I was going to engage in a community in a solo model, I would need to have some way to give people like milestones or phases that they're in so I know how to direct my comments and my conversations within the community. And so that I, as a community participant, can connect in with other people. Like, oh, are you in phase 2? Oh, are you in phase 3? Oh, I'm another phase 3-er. All right, let's talk, right? Versus in a cohort model, we're all in it together. Like, hey, what'd you guys do on day 1, right? Hey, how'd you do on like mission 3? I really struggled. So the conversations and the structure of the community is dependent upon that model that you just did. So in the case of One Funnel Away, it is a challenge model. It uses a cohort model within that challenge model to know like how to go through it. And then the last thing, and actually we're only like 2 minutes, and so I don't know if I have enough time, but let me just show you really quick in terms of, this connection between the community that, every day I'm also driven back into, I get the lesson, I get the missions, and then I'm always driven back into what they call the secret area, the secret success area, which is my community, right? And so it always drives me back into that community. So I consume, I learn, and then I'm driven back into the community to help me progress on my journey. And this continues to be a repetitive pattern over and over again, helping me to continue on that journey. The emails are just that extra bonus because everybody knows like, hey, what's the login? How do I get in? So not only am I coming in and active with the content and with the community, I also get something into my inbox that basically says, hey, here you go. This is what we're doing today. And so all along that journey, I'm supported every touch point, every step, every place that I might access it. It's all right there. So, all right, I think we have a minute and a half left. I'm going to go ahead and look and see if anybody, oh, I got some comments. So let's see what we got. All right. And of course, like when I do this, the JourneyWise, when I do this on my phone, there we go. Cool. Thanks, Steph. It's so good to have you here. Appreciate it. All right. So, one other aspect of the journey that I'll talk about in terms of the email. A lot of times when I'm working with clients, they are always asking me, like, how do you manage email? And this is where we'll talk about it a little bit later in the week in terms of that tech stack. But you absolutely use some kind of thing called an autoresponder, for those of you who are not familiar with it. And that allows those emails so you don't have to manage it every day. It just basically gets put on autopilot. So every single day, especially because I know it's a cohort model, I know everybody's going through at the same time, I know every day everybody gets the day one email or the pre-training, everybody gets the pre-training day one. And so again, that nurture email can just continue to support in the back end. Now, one thing that's really cool that I'm starting to get into a little bit more, and I think that Russell is actually starting to incorporate in more of his programs, and that is bots. So like ManyChat or there's a number of them. I think ManyChat's probably the best one out there. But basically that I now don't just show up in your inbox, I show up in your DM. So that I can say, hey, you ready for day one? Or hey, you're part of the challenge, come on in. Again, it does that same thing that you're trying to accomplish with that nurture email, where basically it's like, hey, keep on the journey, come back into the journey, let's go on this journey, and it just supports me every step of the way. So, all right, that's time. Thank you all so much, and please leave any questions that you have for me down below, and any suggestions of other membership areas that you might want me to break down in terms of through a customer journey versus a membership site. Until tomorrow, I will see you all later. All right, take care.